Good morning. Today we are going to do the Kaleidoscope block. I have one made up right here. We have the 4 patches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another 4 patch down here. We're going to do lights and mediums or lights and darks, alternating in order to create this. And then what we will do is we will attach to the corners to make it a block. Some very pretty. Let's see what we got here. Let's go with one of these and one of these. And that will create our block. This right here is just the sewing tutorial for it. I will have other ones up for the cutting to create the Kaleidoscope block. And but I wanted to first just get one block done so that you can see how it goes together. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick some squares, or excuse me, some triangles. These are cut from scraps that I have. Anything from basically I'm looking at a piece of material that would be 5 inches by 10 inches in order to get me about 4 of the triangles. Now the triangles do measure on here 1, 2, 3, 4 inches by 1, 2, 3, 4 and 3/4 inches tall. Okay. And like I said, I will have a video on how to cut these out of the fabric so that it makes it quite easy. I'm going to go with a pink one here. Go with another medium here. We're going to need 8 of these triangles. Let's go with a pretty blue one here. Let's pick a light and another light. I'm going to stay. With this quilt, what we're going to be doing is the majority of it is going to be of a blue nature. So I will be putting a little bit of pink in it, going into a little bit of red, and I will be adding some green. I also have a little bit of brown cut. Let's put a lighter blue in there. And we're going to need one more triangle. What shall we do? Well, let's throw a little bit of this in here, just to see how it goes. I'm going to bring that one up there, put the brown down here. So when we sew these together, we're going to do light and dark, or excuse me, dark and light, dark and light. And then for the other half, we are going to do light and dark. And then we're going to do a light and a medium. And I think what I want to do is swap these out. There we go. So we're going to separate it into 2. And I'll be sewing this one to this one. And then this is my light, this is my medium. That will go on there. I'll sew right down here. We'll use a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. Same with down here. We will sew a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch. I am going to chain piece these. I will sew them and come back and show you what we have. Okay, here are my triangles. I have stitched them together with a 1/4 inch seam. Cut them apart. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take these and press them to the darker fabric. For right now, I think I'm going to just finger press. There's one. There's two. Three. I'm making this quilt for my grandson, Henry. He is going to be 3 soon, and he loves blue. So we're going to do a lot of blue. It is an old-fashioned Kaleidoscope block. A lot of people now will do them. They'll do them with a either 6, 4, or an 8 patch, I suppose, on each side here. And they'll cut it out of fabric that will have, it will be a panel, and they'll use 8 panels, and they'll line them up right together so that each one of these has the same design on it. This actually isn't that way. We use more lights and darks in order to create the kaleidoscope effect with it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this one and sew it to this one. You kind of look and make sure that you have a medium or dark, a light, a medium, a dark, light, medium or dark, lighter color, or medium, dark, and then light. So we're going to go light, 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 light. Those are my lights. Or mediums. There's a lot of variation you can do on this one. But I'm trying to keep this together so that it kind of blends with the browns. That way if I put more browns and greens in it, they'll go next to that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take this one and this one. We're going to flip it over on top of each other. We will nestle those seams together down here. Nestle them right in. You can stick a pin in this if you want to keep it right there. I use washi tape on my sewing machine, and I will guide it right down through here. I'll start at this end. I'll start right here at this end, not at the points down here, so that when I come down through, I'll get to the very end and make sure it's lined up. And we'll do the same for this side. Let me stitch those and I'll be right back. Okay, we have those two stitched together. We came right down through here. We actually, whoops, I'm not in there right. We started right here and stitched right down through. So now we have some dog ears down here that we're going to have to trim off. Let's open it up. And you see we have the top portion of our octagon. Same with this one down here. Let's hope I did this correctly. Looks like it's coming together very nicely there. So we will finger press these open. And again, we're going to go to the dark. This is our bottom half. We did this here, so we're going to push it to the dark. That'll go to the dark, and that'll go to there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trim these off. I don't have my little scissors here, but we are going to come in We're just going to take off these dog ears. So we just trim those off. And on this side too. Let's set our block back up again and make sure that we have it where we want it. The one on top, the pink down there. We're going to sew these two together right across here. And if you look at this, this will nestle together nicely. And we have this spot right here. Let's get it up there for you. There's a little X here. We want to stay on this side of the X when we're actually sewing it. That way you do not lose your point. That's a point there. The only thing that I'm finding that's a little hard on this block, there's your X again there, is that you can only see one side when you're sewing it together. So I'm hoping that that will come out nicely. I'll stitch it together, take it to the sewing machine, stitch it together, and we'll see what we have. Okay, here we are back from the sewing machine. We have sewed this from one end right down through here. You can see the spot right here. It's hard for me to see it. Got just past the X there where these come together. And then kept sewing right down through here. Open it up. And there's our middle. Looks really good right there. Came together nicely. On the back side, what we're going to do is we're just going to give it a little twist. Just to open it up. Just a little twist. You do have 8 wedges here that are coming together, so you're going to have some bulk in this. I'm not certain how I am going to go about doing the actual quilting on this. That's something I haven't yet decided on. I may hand tie this quilt just because there is going to be some bulk in these centerpieces. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to actually iron this really quickly and we'll bring it right back to you. Okay, so here's the block that we were just working on. These are going to go together in rows. And it is going to give an illusion of circular halos when all of the blocks are combined and you put the corner pieces on them to create the actual block. It'll be like that. And then you will bring your next one in. And this will get corner triangles put on it. Excuse me. But what you want to do is there's a system to putting it together. There's going to be lights and darks in these corners depending upon which rows they're at. So it will create that beautiful illusion of halos once all of the blocks get put together. Now in your first row, you're going to be starting with a dark one in this corner. And then when you go for your second row, you will be putting a light one in that position. Let's move this around so it's like that. So one row is going to start this way and it's going to be dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. And then the second row is going to start with a light, dark, light, dark. We'll end up making around 100 blocks. I'll probably make a few more than that just because this is the first time I've ever done this style, this big of a quilt. And I want to have enough variation. I want to make sure that I get it, the lights and darks and the mediums in there just where I want them.